Hello, everyone. Welcome to Alex's English Podcast. My name is Alex, and I'm so happy you decided to join us today. We have a very exciting topic: how to remember new words easily. This is a question many English learners ask. They learn new words but often forget them very quickly.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everyone. I'm Sophia. I'm really looking forward to this episode because I know how challenging it can be to learn new vocabulary. We all study new words, but after a few days, we forget them. It's frustrating, right?
Yes, it can be frustrating, but the good news is that we can learn some simple tricks and strategies to remember words better. We want to share practical tips that anyone can use, no matter their English level.
Exactly. And we will keep our ideas simple so beginners can follow them easily. So, Alex, why don't we start by talking about why it's so hard to remember new words in the first place?
That's a good idea. One reason is that our brains receive a lot of information every day. We see many words on social media, in books, in conversations, and so on. It's easy for new information to get lost.
Right. Another reason is that many learners only see a new word once. Maybe they read it or hear it, then they never look at it again. The brain forgets things that are not repeated.
Yes, repetition is very important. Also, if you never use the new word yourself, it stays passive in your memory. You might recognize it, but you can't remember it quickly when you speak or write.
Exactly. So we need to do something to make these words stick in our minds. That's what we'll talk about today. Strategies to make vocabulary learning more effective.
Yes, let's begin with one of the most popular techniques: spaced repetition. Have you heard of that, Sophia?
Yes, I have. Spaced repetition means reviewing words at intervals, like day 1, then day 3, then day 7, and so on. It's based on the idea that if you see a word many times over a period, it goes into your long-term memory.
Exactly. You can use flashcards for this. Some people use physical flashcards, but many apps also use spaced repetition. For example, Anki, Quizlet, or Memrise. They show you the same word after a few days, and you have to recall its meaning.
That's right. It's a very effective method. Every time you review the word correctly, the app waits longer before showing you the word again. If you get it wrong, it shows you the word sooner.
Right. This technique really helps because it keeps reminding your brain about the word at the moment you might forget it. Then, over time, you remember it more easily.
Yes. If you don't like apps, you can make your own schedule with paper flashcards. For example, put them in boxes labeled Day 1, Day 3, Day 7, Day 14, etc. It takes some organization, but it works well.
Definitely. Another useful strategy is using words in context. When you learn a new word, don't just memorize the single word. Put it into a sentence or a short story.
Right. For example, if you learn the word delicious, you can write, "The cake I ate yesterday was delicious." That way, you see how the word fits in a real sentence. It's easier to remember it because you connect it to your personal experience.
Exactly. Or if you learn the word important, you can write, "It's important to drink enough water every day." Then you're not just memorizing important, you're also seeing its position in a sentence.
Yes. This method helps your brain link the new word to something meaningful. If you only learn a word like important with no context, it might disappear from your memory.
That's so true. Next, let's talk about mnemonics. This is a fancy word for memory tricks. A mnemonic can be a funny phrase or a picture in your mind that helps you recall a new word.
Yes, mnemonics are really powerful. For example, if you want to remember the word giant, you can imagine a giant walking through a city, stepping over buildings. The silly image helps you remember the word.
Right. Another example, if you want to remember the word bicycle, you can imagine two circles, bicycle, rolling down the street. Bi means two, cycle means circle or wheel. A mental picture like that sticks in your mind.
Yes, exactly. The more creative or funny your image is, the better. Our brains love unusual pictures. They are easier to recall later.
Another technique is grouping words by topic. Instead of learning random words, learn them in categories, like kitchen items, animals, or travel vocabulary.
Right. When words are related, our brain can connect them faster. If you're learning about kitchen items, you might learn spoon, fork, knife, plate, cup, and bowl. Because they all appear in the same context, it's simpler to remember them together.
Exactly. Then, when you're actually in the kitchen, you can label those objects or think about their names in English. That real-life connection also reinforces your memory.
Yes. Labeling objects in your house can be really helpful. You can write door, window, chair, lamp on small sticky notes and put them on the objects. Each time you see the note, you read the word.
That's a fun and simple way to immerse yourself in English. Now, let's talk about another idea. Learning words from real-life materials, such as simple books, news articles, or even TV shows with subtitles.
Yes. When you find a new word in a story or a show you enjoy, you'll be more interested in remembering it. It's part of something you care about, not just a random list of words.
Exactly. For example, if you love cooking, watch a cooking video in English. Write down new words you encounter, like stir, mix, or slice. Then practice using those words when you cook.
Right. By using the words in real life, you make stronger connections in your brain. It becomes more than just a word on paper.
Definitely. Another tip is repetition in different forms. Don't just read the word once. Listen to it, say it out loud, write it in a sentence, and maybe test yourself later.
Yes, that's very important. Each time you use a different skill, reading, writing, speaking, listening, you're creating more pathways in your memory. That makes the word harder to forget.
Exactly. Some people also like to create their own small dialogues using new words. For example, if you learn the word prefer, you could write a short conversation. Do you prefer tea or coffee? I prefer coffee in the morning.
Yes, that's a great idea. It feels like real language use. And it's also fun to imagine a scenario in your head while practicing.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about setting realistic goals. Sometimes, learners try to memorize 50 new words a day. That can be overwhelming. It's easy to forget most of them.
Right. A more realistic goal might be 5 to 10 new words a day, or even fewer. The point is to really learn them well, not just see them once and forget them.
Yes, learning a smaller number of words deeply is often better than trying to learn a huge list without repetition. You want to be able to use these words in conversation.
Exactly. And if you practice consistently, like 5 words a day, that's already 150 words a month. Over a few months, you have a lot of new vocabulary.
Right? It adds up quickly. Another important point is to review often. Don't just keep moving on to new words without revisiting the old ones. Make time in your schedule to go back and check your previous words.
Yes, reviewing is key. If you learn words on Monday, review them on Tuesday or Wednesday. Then review them again at the end of the week. That repetition cements them in your memory.
Exactly. That's why tools like flashcards or spaced repetition apps are so valuable. They automate the review process for you, reminding you to study certain words on certain days.
Right. Another fun tip is teaching others. When you explain a new word to a friend or family member, you have to recall it from memory. That action helps you remember the word better.
Yes, teaching is a great way to learn. If you have a study buddy, you can swap words. One day you teach them your new words, and the next day they teach you their new words.
Exactly. It becomes a shared activity, and it reinforces the vocabulary for both of you. Plus, it's more enjoyable to learn together.
Absolutely. Let's also talk about using new words in daily life. If you learn a word, try to find a chance to use it the same day. For example, if you learn encourage, you can say to someone, I encourage you to try this new recipe.
Yes, or if you learn, recommend, you can say, I recommend this movie to you. The more you use the word in real conversation, the stronger your memory of it becomes.
Exactly. Sometimes you might have to force yourself to do this. But it's a good habit. It keeps the word active and prevents you from forgetting it.
Right. Another method is to link English words to images. For example, if you have a vocabulary list, search for pictures that represent those words. Then, look at the pictures and try to recall the words.
Yes, that's similar to mnemonics, but more visual. Our brains love pictures. If you see an image of a cat, you're more likely to remember the English word cat than if you just see the letters on a page.
Exactly. Visual learning is powerful. Some people make vocabulary notebooks with small drawings or printed images next to each word. It might take time, but it's very effective.
That's a great idea. Another key strategy is staying motivated and consistent. If you only learn new words once in a while, you won't see big progress.
Yes, you need regular practice. Even if it's just 10 minutes a day, do it consistently. Over time, you will build a strong vocabulary.
Right, and it's okay if you forget some words. That's normal. Don't feel upset or think you're failing. Just keep reviewing. Little by little, more words will stay in your memory.
Exactly. Patience is important. Language learning is a journey, not a race. So, Alex, maybe we should give our listeners a quick summary of the best techniques we've mentioned.
Sure, let's list them out clearly. Number 1. Spaced repetition. Use flashcards or an app to review words over time.
Number 2, use words in context. Put new words into sentences or short stories that mean something to you.
Number 3. Mnemonics. Create funny or memorable images in your mind to help you recall words.
Number 4, group words by topic. Learn related words together, like kitchen items or travel phrases.
Number 5. Label objects in your home or workplace. Seeing the word frequently helps you remember it.
Number 6, learn from real-life materials. Watch shows, read articles, or listen to music you enjoy. Collect new words from these sources.
Number 7. Use repetition in different forms. Read it, write it, say it, and listen to it. Multiple activities help lock the word in your memory.
Number 8, set realistic goals. Don't overload yourself with too many words at once. Focus on a small number of words each day.
Number 9. Review often. Plan time to revisit old words. Consistent review is crucial for long-term memory.
Number 10, teach others. When you explain a new word, you remember it better.
Number 11. Use new words in daily life. Try to speak or write with your new words as soon as possible.
Number 12, link words to images. Visuals can help you remember words more effectively.
Yes, that's a great list of tips. If our listeners try even a few of these strategies, I'm sure they will notice a big improvement in their ability to remember words.
Absolutely. The most important thing is to keep practicing. Don't just learn the word one day and forget about it. Keep it active in your mind by reviewing and using it.
Right. And if you do forget a word, don't worry. Just check it again. Over time, you'll forget it less often, and eventually it will become part of your active vocabulary.
Yes, exactly. Alex, do you have any final advice for our listeners who want to build a strong vocabulary in English?
I would say, have fun with it. Learning new words shouldn't feel like a boring task. Use methods you enjoy, like reading comics, watching funny videos, or writing short stories about things you love.
That's great advice. When you have fun, you learn faster. And you're more likely to remember the words you study.
Yes, definitely. Also, don't compare yourself to other people. Everyone learns at their own speed. Focus on your progress and celebrate your small wins.
Right, that's very important. Some people learn new words quickly, some slowly. The main thing is to keep going and not give up.
Yes, exactly. Well, Sophia, I think we've shared a lot of tips today. I hope our listeners find them helpful and start using them right away.
Me too. I love hearing success stories from learners who start trying new techniques and see results. It's very inspiring.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sophia, for this interesting conversation. I enjoyed discussing all these memory tips with you.
Thank you, Alex. I had a great time too. And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. We really appreciate your support.
Yes, we do. Before we end, we want to remind you to like this podcast, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. We love hearing your feedback, and your support means a lot to us.
That's right. By subscribing, you'll never miss a new episode. And if you leave a comment with your own vocabulary tips, we'd love to read them.
Yes, please share. Learning is a community effort. We can all help each other. Once again, this is Alex's English Podcast, wishing you a wonderful day of learning.
Exactly. Keep practicing, keep reviewing, and keep smiling. Thank you so much for listening, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.
Goodbye and happy studying.